Oh yeah. No, it's it's showing an old.
One. And I'm not even getting that over here.
Yeah, and so that's cancel. So oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, and so that's.
Oh, I've got it now.
I think we're live. Cool. So
I'm trying to judge the.
We've got maybe a 30-second delay, I believe. So it takes us a moment to see exactly what you're seeing. But I think, let's see, unable to connect to chat.
I have it.
Okay. So, all right. Well, that seems.
I gotta watch for that.
Seems relatively functioning.
Yeah.
We're pretty close. So let's go for it.
Yeah.
Cool. Hello everybody. I'm John, and this is Dan.
Hello.
And we're part of Move 38. We're doing a live stream today because we had actually planned to be in San Francisco for the GDC, which is a game developer conference. It's a huge event. It's probably, it's arguably the biggest game developer conference. And to be of no shock or surprise, it was canceled because it's way too large of a gathering. Tens of thousands of people normally show up. And so instead of being in San Francisco, we canceled our flight. We've been working from New York and working from home. And we have a lot of stuff in progress that we thought it'd be really great to give people an opportunity to see what's in development with Blinks. If you're a developer, we welcome you to load the games that we're going to be playing today onto your own Blinks. And we'll walk through exactly what that looks like and how that works. And then also, we'll preview a number of new games and, yeah, are happy to answer any questions. I should note that Dan's our lead game designer, so when it comes to figuring out how to make your own game, Dan's been really actually quite actively responding to things on the forum and just helping people who are excited about making their own games for Blinks by giving them tips for structures, writing tutorials, and honestly, when we have the opportunity, we love to help out and figure out, help anybody figure out how to make their own smart tabletop games.
So, I mean, we can choose a game and start. I'm trying to think if there's a particular order that I want to go in. I know
I made a list.
If you made a list, then let's do the list.
Okay, so, and I think it's actually in our YouTube description. Oh no, it's in the forum post. So I should actually, I'm going to grab a link to the forum post and just put it in the YouTube comments so that you can join there too. So let's see. So I've got us starting with Dark Ball. All right. And this, I'll just do that. We'll do that. Cool. And so I just threw the forum link, which actually has links to the source code. Oh, I'm not actually part of the chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just type it.
Ooh. Okay. Seems like the video unavailable. This video is private. I'll take a look. Let's see. Oh, I see. I should update this. Okay. A lot of firsts here, so learning bit by bit. Share, copy. Okay. That link. Oh. Save edit. Okay. Link should be fixed now. Okay. All right. Thanks for hanging with us. I think we'll get better at this. I'm actually really excited about the setup that we have. I'll actually just do a quick preview of that. So we set it up so that we can share our gameplay today, so you can see exactly what's going on the table. Oh, there we go. See, we're learning all of the, let's see. We're learning all of the things that can go wonky. So let's see, I'm gonna change the settings. Let's see, okay. So I just need to make sure my settings are appropriate so that it does not go to sleep. General. Display. Auto lock, never. Okay, that seems likely to be the thing we need. Cool. All right, so let's try that one more time. So we've got our heads, and then,
Always.
The only other thing that could have.
That app should default to horizontal.
That's, yeah, I'm actually doing something here. I'm using, it's difficult to find a camera app that doesn't have camera stuff in it, like all the UI. Yeah. Okay, so we got the table, we got our heads, and then while we're playing, if you don't need to see our faces, why not?
Yeah.
Cool. So that looks like it's all functioning. Cool, and it looks like, do we have a guest?
Hard to say.
Okay.
It's just hard to tell because I just know that those numbers sometimes
could be
unreliable.
So if you have joined,
like indications are that yes, there is one, like, or up to 5. I don't know.
Okay.
Hard to say. I'm one of them.
Cool. Well, if you've joined us, be sure to say hey in the comments, and then that'll be. Yeah, if you've joined us, be sure to say hey in the comments, and then we'll know you're watching, and allows us to keep an eye on the comments section. So let's go ahead and start out with one of the games in development. So there's a number of you out there who are still waiting to receive your blinks, core sets, and expansions. We've shipped at this point 1,500 sets. Our next shipment is arriving later this month. We're keeping fingers crossed that everything is moving forward as planned, and so far, everything in China actually is up and running in a pretty good way. So we'll be shipping out the next 1,000 sets first week of April, and shortly after that, we're going to be running a Kickstarter for the next games that have been coming from the community. So let's just start off with one that we have here. So I'll break out 12 blinks to play this. So let's see.
Which one are we starting?
We're going to start with Dark Ball.
You have it over there, or do you want this one?
Right here.
Okay.
So, all right. So if this is your first time seeing blinks actually loaded up, the way you do it is you hold down for 3 seconds. When it goes all crazy blue, you can see it searching for neighbors to teach the game. When it finds each of its neighbors, it then starts to share the code for that game, and all the blinks are learning how to play that game. And so Dark Ball is a game made by close friends of the studio, CW&T, or specifically Seiwei of CW&T. And Dark Ball was a game, really it's more fun to hear him talk about it directly, but he came to us and he said, I just want to make a game that our 3-year-old, 4-year-old,
Yeah.
4-year-old can pick up and just start playing, and they don't need to really know what's going on. But I think what they ended up making is something that anybody can play real quickly, but it also is actually pretty challenging to get good at.
Yeah, and it's really flexible. It's a game that can be played in 1,000 different ways, and there are some suggested rule sets, but this is a game made for you to experiment with and then do house rules. And the way you play Dark Ball is going to be different than the way anyone else plays Dark Ball, which I think is cool.
I feel like every time somebody else who's played Dark Ball, they're like, "Hey, do you want to play?" And they introduce a new
And
way
they're
of
like,
playing.
"Oh, this is how I do it." Like, oh, okay. That's hadn't thought about that.
You're really good at your way of playing.
Yeah.
So the simplest way to set up Dark Ball is you notice that the end pieces are lighting up a different color than the path. And so when, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And so when I press it, it sends a dark ball, and my timing, it's kind of like, almost like Pong, in that my timing has to be right to hit the ball when it's coming. And wow, nice. And the better your timing is, the faster the ball's gonna come off your paddle. Dope. Okay, so
I've taken 3 damage.
So it's a little bit early, and so I took 1 damage, and Dan doesn't have any, so I'm gonna serve the ball. So I've taken 2 damage, and you'll see my health meter work its way down. And so...
Oh, that was nearly didn't get that. So I hit a little too early, and so you can, I'll demonstrate over here. If John, let's say the ball was somewhere in this middle section, and John just like got way antsy and hit it, his blink will go inactive for a second. He doesn't take any damage, but he can't press it again during that moment. So if it's like here, and he presses, he's gonna miss the opportunity, which is how I just took damage. I pressed too soon, it crashed into me, and I didn't have time to press it again. But now I'm blue, he's green, which means I have the ball.
How long is the delay period?
I'm not sure. This may be a different version. My understanding was that it was about a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get locked out for a bit.
So we're playing the dead simple version of Dark Ball. We will now, I'm going to just add the smallest possible complication.
So just change one thing.
Just that.
Yeah.
So now we've got this cluster over here, and we'll see how that affects what happens.
Oh. So it's coming back to me.
Oh. That's, yeah,
most
that's the
difficult
worst thing that
start.
can happen. Yeah, you know what? Let's put it one further.
All right.
Oh. So now it's a lot harder to predict.
That was a simple one.
Yeah. And now the worst thing is, because it can come back to you, I just failed normally, is that if you do a really good job and get it to like shoot out of your paddle really fast, that just may mean that you have to respond to a really fast ball.
So you can't just be good and lucky. You have to be properly good.
Trying to do like soft focus. Whoa. I really like this amber color, the version of this that I have on my blinks, because I'm like a step behind on Dark Ball.
Actually, I just changed this locally.
Oh, you did? All right. I was going to say, like, I really like this amber color, because when I was playing it, it was more yellow. Well, let's take this opportunity to push this a step further.
Cool.
Let's see. Let's do that. Take one of these from you.
So neither of us have lost at this point. I have 5. Let's see. If I cover like this, you can see I've only got like 1 little bit of health. Let me cover this. You can see Dan's got more. Oh, and I should note, I didn't note that earlier, but Dan and I have been, of course, washing our hands.
Oh, yeah.
Cleaning blinks with alcohol. I cleaned them last night, so just want to echo that sentiment. It's worth taking appropriate precautions.
So I have the ball. So now we don't have that little cluster, which can be really fast moving and difficult to deal with. Now we have this whole ring, which means you get a little bit more time to look at it, and it also is kind of more visually dramatic. Whoa.
I had a stall.
I'm
there.
not great at this game, I'll be honest. Like, of all the games in the new set, I would say this is the one I am the worst at.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So John blew up. After the blow up, he's back to full life, so he's still got the ball. And this is also, we're playing just the two of us, but you could, if you wanted to, play this 3-player. You could play it, you know, a really weird 4-player. I mean, you can get really flexible with this game. Any end piece becomes a paddle. Everything else is a pathway.
Do you want to see the mode that I was introduced to? Ishmael showed me this.
Yeah,
this
right.
I think is just totally nuts. So, yeah, like this game, we can come back to this for sure. Oh, and to reset your health, you can just...
Yeah, once a piece with damage becomes a road piece, I think there's a 5-second like waiting period, and then it just resets. So often when I want to reset, I'll just take the last 2 pieces and just flip them around.
Let's see. So this is the...
I find this version impossible.
This is the mode of Dark Ball that Ishmael said is his favorite and most competitive. We'll see. So we've got... Okay. 2 simultaneous. And it's up to the... You don't have to launch. Aw. Huh. I feel like my eyes need to glaze over.
No, not paying attention. All right, so I've lost 1. I think that means I've lost.
Oh no, you can still be playing. So this one was lost. Oh, but yeah. So this is the only one to play left.
Yeah, but
now
it's just real easy.
Well, but you can.
Anyway.
Oh right, and you can't win this one. The best you can do is tie.
Yeah. So the way I think of 2 per person is this.
Which I think is just pure evil. Let's see. So we'll throw that in. We'll start full health.
You just launch 1.
Okay. Right away.
Oh, I just the wrong one.
I feel like you just have to hit both.
I know, but that's exactly what just happened.
Oh.
And I screwed it up very badly.
I'm not even taking chances.
No.
Oh.
No. Yes, that's what happens if you hit both. And if it comes back to you, you're in trouble.
Wow.
No.
Wow, that was a really good hit, but not to my benefit.
Yeah, so there's a million ways to play this one. I think that's what I like the most about it. Sorry.
That's okay. We're just checking on the stream to make sure everything's up and running. Let's see.
Marty asks, but just to me over text, chat in the comment, Marty.
Join us, Marty.
Yeah. How does the randomness work? So in this case, the randomness is true. It just see there.
Check that. Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
not there.
Checking the comments. How does it? Oh, so our comments aren't updating appropriately.
Wait, hold on.
This is a
Maybe
good
that's my
moment to
bad.
take a.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
We've got all these comments.
Oh no! Oh,
Hello,
there's so many
everybody.
of you. Oh, I've failed you as this sort of pseudo moderator. All right, we've got Marty, great. We've got Lucid Akash, Jonathan West. Jonathan West, actually. There's
Hey, Jonathan, welcome.
something I have to email you about. Yeah, and randomizes. Right. So the question of random in this game, when the blink reaches a decision point, or when the ball reaches a decision point, it just makes a random choice, but it doesn't double back. So for instance, at this juncture, at this juncture, if it comes down this path, it can't reach here, this turnaround. It does have to choose this or this. But you can make entire clusters. You can play the game if you're feeling real weird like this. This is playable. The ball will just... It'll just go in there and do whatever it wants for a while, and then eventually decide to go back into the paddle. And this is actually speaking of like Seiwei's design intentions, this is the like single player. I don't know exactly what.
I like to do kind of just a loop at the end.
Like a loop, yeah. So this is a great single player method of the game. Now this is pretty predictable because you've got this long stretch to. Oh, I'm not paying attention.
Oh, nice.
Oh boy. Yeah, you're a victim of your own success here because if you hit it really accurately, it's only you that pays the price. The other way to do this, if you want to get real weird, is just to make that. And now it just enters this area, and oh, that went around immediately. And so this is a great like single player way to practice if your friends are really into this and you want to get real good.
It's kind of like hitting a racquetball against a wall, except the ball may just get stuck in the most complex maze and then get thrown at you at high speed.
Or you could do what the way I like to do it, which is you make one really long line, right? And then you throw like a couple of perturbations into the middle. Now you've just got this.
So it may come back after a short while, might come back after a long. You said you're not good at this, but these are
good at
actually...
one player. I'm good at it one player. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool ways to do this.
Pretty impressed. You're even like playing this in your periphery.
Yeah, so that's Dark Ball, and I don't know how else. I don't know if there's other ways you play or.
One of my favorite things about it is that you can play with any number of players. So like, you know, if you just grab your set of blinks and your friend's set of blinks and more blinks, it's like, it's a game that truly scales to any number of people. There's not a limit to how many balls, so you can have multiple dark balls. They will
merge, I think.
When they collide, but if you have a big long chain, it's like you could have something coming from over there, but maybe you've got a game going on over here and a game going on over here, and every once in a while they kind of link together.
Yeah, that.
So like I like that is a possibility.
What's with the amber thing? I'm just asking like
what
I like.
Oh, the color choice. Oh yeah.
Because it used to be yellow.
So I don't know if this will stick. So we'll see. We've got a couple of notes in there for exploration on colors and visual effects.
Mm-hmm.
The game itself is super juicy on its own, so like, you know, it doesn't actually need that much, but it's kind of fun. We like making Blinks games as juicy as possible. CW&T, so Seiwei's one half of CW&T, their studio stamps all of their stuff with this like hyper orange circle, and they've got a design system around it, and it was just like, oh, maybe it's worth seeing what Dark Ball looks like if you make the track your signature, kind of a signature color. So that's a possibility. That is by no means as I mentioned, I just hopped into the code, edited it right before loading them on, and all I had to do was change one number. I just changed the hue.
He was using hue for that yellow? I thought it was just yellow.
Yeah.
Like system rainbow yellow.
I think it was like 33,
so
and I changed it to 20.
Okay, yeah.
So, which I think is also a nice thing. I grabbed... I can talk about it a little bit later in the stream. We'll break out some of the development tools. But it's kind of one of the things that was really important about designing Blinks is that, like, if you want to make modifications to them, all of the games are accessible for you to edit and modify the game. So if you don't like the colors of Barry, you can make Barry in your own color scheme.
And here's Dark Ball with 0 players. It's a 0-player game. It will play itself.
That's actually a pretty cool track.
You just inject a ball into it, take the paddle off, and now you've got an infinite Dark Ball. See if actually I can get 2, see how long 2 will dance around each other without meeting.
I liked that as a game, though. That I feel like Ishmael had challenged someone to play. I think it was like he would inject and then see how many. Oh,
you need it to be blue.
So maybe let's grab this one.
No, you failed immediately.
I failed so quickly.
You need to be blue.
So these two can, that's useful. So once it's blue, I can start a ball, and then I'll, and so you try and see how many dark balls you
These
can
should
put.
go forever.
Yeah, I would hope so. Although, remember, they could be slightly different speeds, so...
No, not on first release.
Oh, that's right. That'll be a... Let's see. You think I can get another
I mean,
one in?
you can get lucky. Like, that's the thing, is that they may just continue to circle around even when you're connected. It's just there's a 50% chance they don't. You might as well just connect and go for it. Nope.
But I did somehow reverse the direction.
No. You added...
I added a third and like...
Oh, you took it out while it was in there.
That's pretty cool.
It's like Speed Race when you grab the one that has the car in it.
Nice. Yeah, so, Dark Ball also in attract mode.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Let me see what our next game is, and it's a good moment to check the comments too. So, yeah, the next game I have on our list is Paintbrush.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you feeling up for Paintbrush?
Yeah, I haven't played Paintbrush with 12 in a while.
I think it's.
Do you have? I guess I haven't changed much recently, so this is what it is.
It should be. Yeah, should be up and running. If we load the wrong game, we'll. So since
I have my alternate set over here with my little pictogram drawings.
You should hold that up so people can see.
This is my secret code where I've drawn little symbols to represent the games instead of written the names.
That's for Dan's games in development. Essentially, it's like if they were.
So only I can know what they are, which is totally useless and not helpful to anyone.
When blinks go into the archives, these will be the hieroglyphics blinks.
Yeah. It's like, what does the two hearts mean? It could mean this. It could mean that.
Do you say so with Paintbrush?
Mm-hmm.
This will make sense in a moment with one of our other games, but you get to pick from anywhere on this formation.
Yeah, I'd always thought the way I always played it was that like you just grab two and then you make the canvas.
Right.
But we could do that if you wanted to, or again. So because these games are in development, we're not here to deliver you like the gospel of how this is played.
Right.
So like Carol and Mary, who develop Paintbrush, have the rules that they've written, and they are great, and we will probably go with them exactly as written, but we're still in that time when things could change, so John and I are not just presenting these games to you, we're also kind of talking them through. So another way to do it is just to click one.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that's kind of a cool way to start.
Yeah.
So you start by you click anywhere?
Now, in this setup, it's unfair, but in this setup, it's less unfair. But no, it's unfair. And
does it have to be a border piece?
That would make it better.
Okay.
Because I was going to say clicking this would be inherently the best
move. Yeah.
And it would knock out. Yeah. Okay. Has to be a border piece. You start.
Has to be a border piece. I start. Well, I'm going to go here. And you're gonna get.
I want to be purple.
Okay.
So in Paintbrush, it was gonna be.
Is that pretty good?
No, it's not great. It's just gonna be hard to. Well, our colors are pretty different. Should be okay.
Okay.
In Paintbrush, these blank ones are sort of blank canvas, and then each player creates a paintbrush, which is a full saturation blink of their color. And any blink that has touched a paintbrush will get a little paint smear of that color. So I'll put this here. This blink has touched two different paintbrushes, and so a little hard to see. Oh boy.
Is that a little better?
Yeah, sure. A little hard to see, but it has a bit of purple and a bit of green on it. So I'm going to put this back where it goes. Our goal is to every turn pick up a piece and move it to a new place or rotate it in place, and cover the world in our color. And so if I can make an entire blink painted my color through painting it, it will become another paintbrush.
And I should show, yeah, and a paintbrush.
I did that.
Oh, you held it up.
Yeah, cool. The other important thing is that unlike some other Blinks games like Mortals or Barry, where we have these discrete rules for when a blink can and can't be taken. So traditionally in a Blinks game, you couldn't take this one because it's surrounded. You also couldn't, in some games, take this one because it has blinks on opposing sides. This one, you can take whatever you want. The only rule is you cannot take a blink like this that would fracture the world into two pieces. So this blink would create sort of a disconnected blink. That's the only way to lock something in this game. So I'm well within my power to take this middle one piece here, which is unusual for a Blinks game, but makes this game really competitively interesting.
I think you
can't like predict so much what's going to happen.
It's the first time I actually saw that done. I was like, oh, I don't like this. And then when I saw it play out strategically, I was like,
so I'll start.
This is interesting.
But no, you have to start because you chose.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, it feels advantageous here.
Switch this to game only.
Okay. So, let's see. I feel good about my first move. I feel like taking advantage of smearing capabilities. I need to get my paintbrush on the move. So, I'm gonna... Oh, but I really open myself up.
Kind of.
Let's see what happens.
Things are pretty easily reversed in this game.
Okay. So, I'll go there.
That one.
Smart. Okay. At this point, I want to do this.
Sorry.
Ooh, okay. Overwritten. So let's see. This would allow me to write to the sides. That'll lock that in. Okay, I'm gonna go here. Oh, so close. The geometry is just not right. That's cool. Okay. So, Dan's on the verge of getting a paintbrush here, although so am I. So, it's kind of an interesting question of, do I make my paintbrush or prevent his? I'm going to get my paintbrush.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Nice. Okay.
Now we both have two paintbrushes.
Two paintbrushes. I'm not sure how this is going to go, but
should we play to a number of paintbrushes, or should we play to like everyone's paintbrushes kind of thing?
So in the written rules, it's until all pieces are paintbrushes, or if you take, I believe, 5 moves back and forth without progress. So it's kind of a stalemate situation. Ooh. Interesting. Yes, I can play that game. I don't know if that's the best move for me. I actually kind of like it with a bit of like a chess timer. I feel like thinking about these moves for too long is not fair. Okay. Let's see. Feel really good about that
That's
move.
not great.
I wonder if it's helpful to see our frustration on screen. No. Okay. Let's see.
So it's worth pointing out that John has a thing here where he's got this cradle that paints 3 sides green. and he has this with 3 sides and the other half is empty, he was 1 turn away from spinning it around and making it into a paintbrush. So by placing this here, not only have I put some purple on it, which is just like a defensive thing, I've also locked it in place. He can't move this blink, which means this blink that he's made all this progress on, he can't continue to make progress on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a tricky. It's very tempting to get right in the heart of one of these spots and just paint this area.
You're not going to paint that much.
I feel like if I get this guy in here, I can get these 3 painted, but then I'm also sacrificing 1 more purple. Oh no, I'll be alright. I think
You'll be okay.
that actually might, that's a pretty solid move, I think. Puts a lot of green in the, so. Okay.
Fortunately, this may be. Hello, Tom. Thanks for joining us. This game, we might want to go faster only because I'm not sure it's reading with these lighting conditions. Like, I think
Yeah,
people are just watching us move lights around.
Let us know if you can see kind of the separations of spaces. Actually, you know, every once in a while I try a piece of paper. On top can help to reveal.
You can get water while you do that.
We'll find out. So that might, yeah, that helps a little bit with the color. And so you can get a sense of what we're seeing a little bit better. This green territory, a little bit of purple. This is a paintbrush, all green, paintbrush, all green. So I think that helps it read.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because it's, you know, blinks because their lights, their relationship to cameras is kind of interesting. Like, sitting here in the room, it's unambiguous what's happening.
Yeah.
But the camera does.
Did that help?
Did help.
Cool.
We'll do that every couple of turns to give you an update on the state of the world.
All right.
It's your turn.
My turn.
I'm not playing very well right now. I'll be honest with myself. You're a step away from a paintbrush.
Oh, now I need to find
yes,
it.
You're a step away from a paintbrush. It's the obvious one.
Oh, sure. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna get this guy out of here. And I can take it to anywhere, but I think
just not
that
touching my
makes
paintbrush.
sense. Okay.
All right, now I'm in trouble. Now I've started to really become in trouble.
So state of the board.
John's got 3 paintbrushes to my 2.
1, 2, 3 paintbrushes. Dan's got 2 right here.
Can you kill these?
And that actually doesn't.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
So there isn't really overhead light in here. There's just like sort of little bulb lights that are from the.
I think the lighting's good.
Yeah. All right. That's
So
nice.
and you can see the. Yeah. Green's got a pretty good. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Went to sleep. Sorry. I think I'm destined for a loss here, but let's be positive about it.
A strong move.
Yeah, but easy to.
I can stop there, but I feel like I kind of want to just keep getting paintbrushes.
Hypothetically, once you have 5 paintbrushes, there's really no beating you.
That's.
But I will get a paintbrush next turn without fail if you don't do something.
That's true. But I think trying to slow you might just slow me too much. So like I feel like rotating this guy, I can get 2 more. Yeah, so this puts me pretty close to getting my paintbrush. I'll get it next turn. Dan's gonna get 1, so I'm still gonna stay up a paintbrush. Okay. It's a good move, but I think I can. Oh, but I have to trap a paintbrush to get that one. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to trap one of my paintbrushes.
It's a huge loss because you'll be making one in the process.
Yeah. Okay. So 4 paintbrushes to 3 paintbrushes. I should show.
I'm in trouble now.
Game state. So yeah, 2, 3, 4.
3 of mine. The rest of the pieces are relatively mixed, but things are not in my favor.
This actually looks really cool.
It does. It does. It's really cool in the room. What I don't have is like these like cradles that you've set up. These places where you can just paint a ton of faces all at once.
Yeah, like this is well.
You drop something in there and like it's
It's
pretty
green.
well painted. Yeah.
Okay.
Now what's funny is there's a lot of trapped pieces. This. All 4 of these are trapped, as is this. So like this whole, basically all your paintbrushes but this one are trapped right now, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
That's the only paintbrush you can move.
Let's see.
But once a couple pieces get moved, that'll stop.
Let's see. I think I have the opportunity here to. Oh, so close. I think this one. Does it make sense for me? I'm gonna do this.
Seems mean, but all right. Damn. Okay. I mean, I don't have a good way to like deal with your like cradles of civilization that you've built here.
Okay. I mean,
it's defensive and sort of silly, but
yeah. Well, you're trying to get rid of that crazy cradle,
yeah.
But then I'm gonna. Oh, I wish I could turn this into 2 paintbrushes at once. That's kind of the moment that I've really been waiting for, is a moment where I get to make a move that creates. Oh, and I should give a quick paper update.
Yeah, quick paper update is that John has an insurmountable lead of 5 paintbrushes to my 3.
3, 4, 5, and then Dan's got 3 paintbrushes here.
I think generally speaking, this is where I would forfeit. I think I've lost this game. Don't really have a way to get more purple in the world in a useful way.
That's a good move.
It's not really.
It was better than. I think it was one of the better moves here. This guy I need to get loose, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's one way to keeping it from. Oh, but now I'm gonna pull this guy out, and I think I've got another paintbrush.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paintbrushes. Dan has 3.
Yeah.
It looks like you could probably get a 4th on.
Maybe. No. Probably.
Although not even on this turn.
No, not even on this turn, and likely never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to talk real quickly about there was some strategy that I was trying to play here. I think early on I wanted to make sure that my paintbrushes, once they had painted somewhere, that those faces were open to be able to be surfaces to smear.
Yeah. I mean, I know because I've watched Carol. Carol came to PAX East, sort of the last uncanceled event in the gaming world. Carol was at PAX East, and I watched her play with some people, and she was unwilling to let other people win, which I respected. She knows the strategy of paintbrush, and she used it. And I watched her sort of play like that, where she was thinking it through a lot more than like I was just thinking it through, and she was able to make really solid. A lot of the moves I made in this game were very reversible. It was a temporary thing where I'd get a little bit. Oh, someone's texting you. best game for a toddler? I mean, we should just answer that question since.
Oh,
I thought you were on Do Not
cool.
Disturb.
I thought it was Do Not Disturb. Well, let me make sure it's actually Do Not Disturb.
Here, I'll go to this. So, well, to answer the game in the core set, best game for toddler. Well, depends on what you're doing. I would say that Wham, in terms of like a game that you can play by its rules, you may have to like help them get it started and teach them the setup procedure, like the double click to start. But just pressing the red ones, really easy rule to teach a little kid. And it's nice because it scales really well and it kind of gets faster and faster and it repeats really well. Let's see, the other ones, Puzzle, Fracture, Berry. I would say that Berry is a fun toy. Single click, we'll just change it to 3 different colors. When we bring these to conventions and little kids come over, they really just like the rearrangement and color changing aspect, and Berry is a really good game to just get your 3 primary colors and put them in whatever orientation you want. Fracture is good too, but it requires a double click, which could be difficult to teach a little kid to do.
I think we're good.
All right.
I read the description and it said, won't show notifications on lock screen. Oh, I did this again. I can fix that. We know how to fix that one. Let's see. Without making everybody nauseous.
Well, I turned it off.
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay. I'm almost there. All right.
Oh
think
yeah,
that's good.
Marty's pointing out in the chat that Bomb Brigade's also good. As
Oh,
long
for
as
toddlers?
yeah, if you can make a bomb, then yeah, pressing the bomb button. It does require the double click reset, which is something you have to teach. But
I've heard from friends with little kids that Zenflow.
I think this person specified corset.
Corset?
Yeah.
Right out of the corset. Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying Wham, Berry, and Bomb Brigade.
Yeah, and even loading up Fracture. I think
It's just that double click. You need double click.
right. But once they have
Berry requires
colors,
single click, which is just like 3 colors, boom, boom, boom.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I think. We've got our latest streamer, Ernie, who just joined us. Hey, Ernie. What do you think? You need to get your prosthetic taken off. Okay, put him on.
No, he's gonna go to the couch. He's fine. He's fine with the leg.
Hey, Jamie. Yeah, come on in. Yeah.
His leg's trapped on the pillow.
Maybe Jamie will join us for a game as well. We'll see. It'll take some heavy convincing today.
So Paintbrush, just to sort of maybe wrap on Paintbrush or thoughts on Paintbrush as we maybe move to the next game?
Yeah, so I think Paintbrush, I just like, Carol and Mary, their goal with the game was to make something that you could hop into.
Yeah. And specifically something that sort of just everything behaved naturally. So for instance, you load up Paintbrush and it looks like this. Your first instinct is to tap a blink. Oh, that's done something. You tap another one. Oh, that's done something else. You pick one up and you move it around and you notice that the colored lights infect the other places. You pick up this one with all the extra lights and you put it somewhere and it infects a bunch of them. And then it's just the kind of thing that you could do naturally while just exploring the space. Suddenly you could be playing Paintbrush just by doing this. And then at some point, if you choose to open the rule book, you could find out that there is actually a specific rules-based game to play. But otherwise, it just rewards your natural tendency to click buttons and rearrange blinks.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the things that it's always a balance of it's nice when blinks just kind of are a fun experience for somebody to pick up and play with. But we've also been asked by some of our more competitive strategic players, what are the next strategy games coming out for blinks? And Paintbrush, had you asked me when Carol and Mary started working on it, is this going to be one of the more strategic? I would have been like, no, I think this is one for kids to pick up and just kind of, It'll be delightful, fun for a family, but like I actually think the strategic play for this is a higher level than
Yeah, it's pretty significant at this point.
So, yeah.
Especially when we first played it in the office, we hadn't. I'll admit, I hadn't fully read, or I had read their rules and it said pick up a piece, and I was so used to the rules that we used in Fracture and other stuff that I just assumed.
The thought of like poking one out from the middle.
Of course, I can't do that. So the first time I played with Ishmael, I was like, man, this is like impossible. And then when I talked to Carol about it that week, she was like, what do you mean? You take whatever piece you want. I'm like, oh, okay. Different thing.
It's, yeah. No, I think, and it's, maybe there will be another Blinks game that uses that same kind of mechanism. I think that's kind of the cool thing about this phase is like, the 12 games that we're shipping, they all have different mechanics of gameplay. And then I kind of assumed that in the next 6 we'd ship that we'd have a lot of like repeat mechanics, but they're new. Like they each have new mechanics. So
actually, what's the next one to talk about?
So the next
there's the next one. There's one that segues really well from this. I think is group therapy.
Oh, I think you should load that one up from yours.
Yeah.
So
we can play with 13.
Okay, cool.
So we're going off the agenda a little bit, but I'm going to load up Group Therapy, which was a global game jam game made by Brett Taylor. We posted it in the forum agenda. And Group Therapy is really unique. It's funny because it doesn't use any capabilities we didn't have, that we didn't realize we have, but it uses them in a combination that we hadn't really done.
Yeah, I mean, it's in high contrast to what we just played, which was slow, thoughtful.
Ooh. The color choices might be betraying us here.
Let's see. So I'll use the paper to kind of demonstrate what's happening. You can see what we're seeing here when the paper's over.
So I'll take you through the phases. So there's phase 1, which is waiting. This is where you wait to see what's going to happen, and it does the static. And then there's phase 2, which is playing. And you've got 2 different colors blinks, pinks and purples. I'll wait another round to tell you why. So a pink blink, hopefully one of these, a pink blink is an extrovert. It wants to have neighbors. And you'll see that at the end, this is happy. It's a little spiral of white happening inside of it. Purple blinks are introverts. Purple blinks want to be alone. So if I reach in and just grab that and disconnect it, you'll see that blink becomes happy, right? So there's 3 phases: waiting, playing, and results. So let's see. Okay, so in this case, I keep that guy off. I want to get this guy alone. I want to get this guy alone. And obviously with the paper on top, it's tough. But I realize you won't be able to quite see what we're doing, but I'm going to play around with it.
And you'll see the results of Dan's round.
Oh, no.
That's maybe bad. Instead of 13 pieces, you want to start with...
do it.
Okay.
I can do this. I've done this. Nope. I got close. I got a few of them. Let's put them back together. So maybe it'll give me an easy one. It didn't.
Did not.
All right. Maybe 13's too hard. I'll admit.
Start with. Let's see. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna try this with 7. This should be.
Let's 8.
Let's see. No.
You don't have to put all the pinks together. They just need to have a neighbor.
Okay. So let's see if I can get this. I just had 4 fail. So. Okay.
It's easy with 5.
Okay. So success on my side, success
These are all
on
happy,
your side.
no red ones.
Okay.
On yours.
Okay. Timing wise, and they all celebrate, and I'll just put the paper over. You see them celebrate, and then back to static, and then all right.
Nope.
Ah.
So those were all of his extroverts, and they all ended up alone.
Okay. So let's see.
They'll also sync their timing when you put them together, so I can put these together and it'll all sync back up.
Okay.
You notice that John and I were sort of off sync because we've been separated for a while. No.
Just one.
So, yeah, so it's a great 2-player game as well because now it's much more approachable with the 2 of us. Like, I'll handle these. Oh. What are those? So those were some extroverts that were, some introverts that were touching, which they shouldn't have been. And that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
That was pretty good.
Hey.
Okay.
We did it.
That felt elbow bump.
You know what? It's impossible. So Brett made this game. He made a bunch of different versions of it at the Global Game Jam. He made this version. He made a version where instead of having introvert extrovert, it just had colors. So there was the reds, the greens, the blues, and you just wanted to put the reds with the reds and the greens with the greens, so on and so forth. And something that we settled on was we really liked this. That was really good.
Close.
For 13, he only got one wrong. We settled on this idea that the introvert extrovert was interesting because it produced 2 very different behaviors, whereas the one where you just put them in groups, everyone behaved the same, which I found a little less interesting. The other interesting thing about this is that right now I'm in the process of balancing. Actually, can you do me a favor? After this round, just put the paper back on top and let it run.
Yeah.
So if you've played Wham, if you're a developer and you've looked at the code for Wham, in the core set, when you're done with this, because I want to show them what
this one's a win.
Oh
no,
no,
it's not. Okay.
So let's put them in just like a big group. Okay. So all right, so you can see it a little better. So in Wham, I'm trying not to talk about this too long, but in Wham, we needed a way to be sure that there wouldn't be a round where there was all moles, and we also didn't want there to be a round with no moles. We wanted them to be distributed interestingly. So what we ended up doing was using the baseline concepts of Conway's Game of Life, which is something John's much more familiar with than I am, but I know it as like a toy. And we use this concept to allow the blinks to secretly, in fact, I'll point it out, this static you're about to see here, it's playing the whole time. It is coming to life and dying depending on what neighbors are around. And this is a really basic one. So we did that for Wham to make sure there was a good distribution of moles. And I'm trying to do it here to make sure there's a good distribution of extroverts versus introverts. I haven't really worked on it enough. This was my first pass at it, and what you'll notice is this version of the Game of Life produces this marbling where there's these contiguous paths of color. And in fact, you can make it do very predictable things because the rules I've made are so basic. So if you set this up, you will notice that you'll just get stripes, which I don't really like. I want it to be more chaotic than that. It's something that I'll be working on, probably today.
I kind of like the candy.
I do, but I want it to be a little less predictable. Like knowing that if I set it up like this, I'm going to get stripes. That's pretty good. And I just find it a little frustrating. And I also, will be honest, I think there should be slightly fewer introverts, just for difficulty reasons.
Sure.
Not a lot less.
Do we know what the ratio of introverts
It's 50-50.
In the world?
I don't know that that's more than a shorthand. I'm not sure that I don't know that I would personally endorse the psychological concept of extroverts and introverts. I think it's a fun shorthand, but that's a conversation for a different TED Talk.
It's dangerous in the same way that right brain and left brain is.
Yeah, I think it's convenient, but it's unless you're trying to make a Scarlett Johansson movie based on the concept of using 10% of your brain, which is hilariously wrong. There's no need to Also, don't go see that movie.
Which one is that? Is that Aeon Flux?
No, looks similar. Lucy.
Okay.
Not a good one. Anyway, not important. So this is 50-50. I don't think it should be 50-50. I don't think it should be 25-75, but I think it should be a little weighted in the favor of extroverts just for game balance. That's the kind of thing. That's why we're showing these, because they're in progress. They're pretty close to being done. This is probably what the graphics are going to look like. But
do you want to talk about some of your thoughts on the color palette?
Yeah, so this game in particular,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we want every game to have a unique color palette. The games in the core expansion frequently do, but a lot of them share a lot of similarities. It's really important to me that these 6 games, see there's the stripes, that these 6 games really do look different. And so for me, in this game, I need to signal 2 things. I need to signal personality and success. Hey, it's Ian. Hello. Hey, Ian.
Hey, Ian.
Your game is on the docket. You haven't missed it. So I need to signal personality, which in this case I'm doing with color, and I need to signal success and failure. So it's real easy to do failure as red. It's just like it's culturally easy for people to understand that a red flash or a red light means something wrong, something bad. What I didn't want to do was use a whole rainbow. So when Brett made this at the Game Jam, obviously he had a very short amount of time, and so he just used green for success, red for failure, yellow for waiting, blue for one team, and yellow for another team, or something like, or orange for another team. The game was perfect. It worked perfectly, but it just looked, it was just a rainbow. It looked like Fracture. It looked like a lot of other games. And so last week I sat down and just remade the visuals of this. And so I thought, well, let's reduce it to just purple and pink, because those are really uncommon colors in like the Blinks universe. I mean, what games do use purple and pink off the top of your head?
Mortals has purple, but no pink.
Honey has purple.
Uh-huh.
And some games use magenta. Some games, Fracture uses like a magenta. But purple and pink as like colors that is the themed colors of the game, really uncommon. So I thought this is perfect, a chance to use new, interesting colors, and kind of make a Lisa Frank-esque game. And then the waiting period, it's not yellow anymore. It's a white and slightly, if you put the paper over during the waiting period, it's sort of like television static that occasionally you'll see in like turns colorful. So it starts white and then becomes more and more colorful and then snaps into color.
Cool.
Yeah. And then success is just the little white spirals. So it maintains the colors, and red for failure. And so this game really only uses, because I don't really count white because every game uses white.
Yeah.
This game has 3 colors, which means that if I walk by this, at a game cafe,
You know what's being played.
I know what game is being played.
Yeah, I think that's the coolest thing. So when people boot up their Blinks, like, I know what game they're playing. I walk by and I'm like, oh, cool, you're playing, you enjoy Fracture, or you're playing Puzzle 101.
Yep.
And it's kind of funny because it's almost like a language that it takes a moment to speak it, but once you speak it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, those Blinks are playing Speed Racer.
I will say that language will be easier to learn in this upcoming set, because the 6 games we have taken pains to work with the developers to make sure that all 6 games have a distinct look. This looks like no game in the set.
Right.
Dark Ball looks like no game in the set.
Right, you won't see this attached to Bomb Brigade and be like, why is one of my pieces acting funny?
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh, you've got a group therapy piece.
Yeah, that's a group therapy piece. It must be.
That's cool. One other thing that I should add on this, which I think is kind of neat, is these colors, on camera it's a little difficult to see. I can put the paper over, but initially I was like, this concerns me that, pink and purple are visually close in the spectrum. Is that going to be tough with anybody who has color blindness? The cool thing about it is that these colors actually are colorblind safe.
These ones?
These ones are. One sits in the blue-red spectrum, another one...
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is when I first made this, like, last Wednesday or something, I had put, it's very technical, but the hue for purple is, I would say, it's in the blue space, and then I had made a very light sort of lilac that was masquerading as pink, but I know Marty, when he was looking at it, was like, these are pretty similar, and John was like, these are pretty similar, and John's suggestion was, well, you're using a purple-pink, why don't you slide across towards red and use like a salmon? So I actually set them to an orange and then pulled the saturation back, and what I got was a really unique pink. Like I feel like this should be a system color. It's just such a
It's a nice pink.
It's so clearly pink, but that salmon makes it so distinct from purple, which is great. Because the one I made before was basically just dark purple and light purple. I was trying my best.
What do you think? Should we load up our next game?
Yeah, so what's the one we skipped pay up to
We
do
skipped
this?
pay up.
Do you want to jump to pay up?
Yeah, do you want to load up pay up? I think I have it.
I don't
on
have. The only one I
here.
don't have.
So there we go. So we'll load up pay up. I'm going to grab a glass of water while you do that.
Oh, me. Okay. Hold on, everyone. So I am going to start installing PayUp. I'm trying to turn this blink off, the group therapy blink. PayUp is another global game jam game. It was made by Aaron Santiago and Spencer Key. And it's funny, I think they started initially working on separate games when the jam started. And then they ended up, I'm not sure how similar their games were. I don't know what games they started working on. But what they eventually made was this really interesting, it's technically an adaptation of a card game, but at this point it has diverged so much from its origins that I would hesitate to explain it as an adaptation of a card game. But if anyone's ever played Egyptian Rat Screw, which is a card game where you place cards, like 1, 2, and then if there's a match, like 2 5s in a row, everyone at the table has to compete to slap the card. That's what PayUp does. So I will make a basic PayUp setup for, let's say, 3 players. Let's do, okay, this is kind of wonky, I realize. I'll just take it out. Yeah. So I triple click, and it creates this shuffler in the middle. And this shuffler, actually, I'm going to just cover this up. See if
Does
it'll make it better. Yeah, not going to help too much with this. This shuffler is changing color and number of lights. So 1 yellow, 1 red, 2 yellow, 2 blue, 2 red. And what we're looking for is doubles. We are looking for either 2 of the same color in a row.
Try the piece of paper on there real quickly, and we'll see how this goes. Does that help?
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, but it also makes us pretty dark.
I don't think that's a big deal. We're not the important part of this.
Yeah.
So it's a little, you can kind of make it out. Yeah, so what we're looking for is for doubles to happen. So let me reset this really quick. 1, 2, 1. Okay, John's gonna buzz in. So what we're looking for is doubles, like I said, and when you see doubles, like here, I buzz in, and there's a result. So the result of this, well, we might as well do it more than once. The result of this is that I was the first one to buzz in. Oh no, John was the first, I was the second, this person was the third, because it's not a person and they failed to buzz in. What would happen after that is that the person who got red takes their blink and hands it to the person who got green. Right, and now my arm is longer, so it takes longer for my signals to reach the center, sort of a natural rubber banding. But my goal is to get all the pieces. And oh no, they got your piece. So now there's no third player. But let's say this is happening. I just click randomly and I just have to get it right. Never mind. Hold on, I'm gonna try and fail on purpose. Don't click. Okay, I failed, but this wasn't a thing. There's no one to hand it to because there's no green. I take this piece and put it over here. It's now a waiting piece. No, it's out of the game. Let's do it real quick. Oh, it's out. I'll do this one. Okay, that piece is in waiting. It just sits there while we keep playing this game, keep trying to do this, blah, 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 blah. And then, oh, it turns green, and I take it. So, hold on. Cool.
So actually, yeah, that's maybe a reasonable way to do it, and then we can switch.
What?
To heads with the lights as well. When it's
oh,
on
I see.
us.
Yeah. So in this game, there's 2 ways of passing. There's either passing because pay up, you owe me this, and I take it, or I just screw up and I drop it over there, and then John, because he's paying attention better than I am, grabs. Oh no, we both got it wrong though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Let's see. So, and sometimes the blink will actually just turn red, and that means it's permanently out of the game.
Oh, nice.
The problem is my path is so far.
Oh, maybe pay it.
Okay, let's see. What? Sorry, I'm reading the chat.
Late.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we can pause for a chat in a sec.
What? That was... whatever. I'll get that back. So, I'm not going to play too much more Planet because I want to respond to something people are saying. Yeah, someone's saying we need to share in our press kit a way to film blinks.
Yeah.
It's something we are also, as you can tell, trying to figure out.
Yeah. Digital SLRs are, a good way to have a lot of control over how the light looks. Some of our best shots. Although, I would say the iPhone, the high dynamic range, gets the best photos of people and blinks. So if you're just photographing blinks, a standard camera is like the best way to shoot them. But if you want people in blinks, I found that oftentimes like a new iPhone is it's too late. Yeah, but I also got that one. Oh, really?
Well, so when Aaron, his strategy when he's this far away is that he just presses and hopes.
Which is not a bad strategy.
Because at this point, John's path is so short that I can't possibly... I can't... Oh, but John's out. I'm out.
So...
Right.
I guess this is my last moment.
But if it turns red, you're out. Oh.
Really?
All right, I got it. I got lucky on that. Yeah, so that's payout. It's. Let me see if I can get us back to this. Sorry, we're a little dark.
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
Well, I'll just put the lights on.
That's pay up. It's another great, as John said, it's another great reaction time game. Group therapy, pay up, and Dark Ball are our reaction time games in this set. Whereas Paintbrush, Pirates and Lasers, and Raid are our turn-based strategic games. I really like this half and half we've got. I think that I don't think that blinks are best at one or the other, but I think they're best when you have the choice to play one or the other.
Right. I feel like it's easiest to introduce my friends to blinks with something like Dark Ball. That it's just like, oh, I get it. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. And it kind of expands. But then, it's like once you're warmed up with a game like that, playing a game like, usually what I go to is I break out Barry. Because I'm just like, oh, this is a game that like, it might take me a minute to explain, but we might be able to play for the next 45 minutes, a few games of it.
Yeah. Let me just see what this... well, so actually to jump back to what you're saying about photography and taking pictures of blinks, what specific settings do you feel matter the most when deciding how to film these?
So ISO is the camera's sensitivity to light is going to be real important. Actually, you know what? The most important thing, hands down, with a digital SLR camera is you just need to make sure your the frame rate if you're doing video, and shutter speed if you're doing photo is not in conflict with the fact that blinks are scanning their lights. So to us, these look like they're maybe constantly on, but if you put your camera at too fast of a shutter speed, you'll notice that not all the lights light up. If you're so typically I'll use a slower shutter speed. I'll leave the exposure open to allow the blink to kind of fully capture that color. I think that's the most important thing for me with and one thing I'll do on a phone is I'll hold my focus on the blink, and then I can drag up or down to brighten the exposure a little bit, bring
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah.
But if you don't lock on it, it's a little all over the place.
Sorry, I'm just amused that this will do this. Like, this game, like a lot of them, is very flexible. Like, you can do things that seem silly. Like, it'll let you build this kind of thing. It'll send signals through it.
And and I think one of the cool things about that was that you could play 2-player at the same. So, like, if you want to play 6 players but teams of 2,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you can have 2 heads. Let's actually set that up with 2-player, 2 teams of 2-player. Yeah.
How exactly do you? I'm not sure.
Like
what
that.
This is gonna
So,
look
like, either of us can buzz in for this team.
I see. Yeah.
And so it's like we get our own buzzer. It's like, oh, thanks, you totally saved
Right.
us on that one.
Right.
I think that's really cool. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, it requires some rethinking of like how you arrange them. But that's the thing about all these games in this set is the architecture is open enough that if you want to change the paper rules, as we often call them, you're free to do so. The game enforces certain things and doesn't enforce other things. And we'll talk about that actually a lot with Raid that we're going to play in a little bit, because it's like heavily in development right now. They are making some decisions about how much Mark is making some decisions about how much he wants to enforce and how much he doesn't. I mean, if any of you are on the forum, part of the forum, he's posted on there. You should play it. You should try his branches. You should give him some feedback, because right now he's working with, he's play testing it, and I'm giving him some opinions. But I am one player of this game, and my opinion is just my opinion.
Is it okay if as we transition to the next game, I was thinking one question that came up was we've got 150 developer kits that we shipped last year.
Mm-hmm.
Those same developer tools work with the shipping commercial blinks, and so I just want to show what that, how you would use that.
What are we throwing on next, by the way? So I'm just gonna. Yeah, and you can see we've got 12 like labeled blinks. There are more games than just the 6 in the pack in development. Things that will be released in the far future, in the near future. Right now we're going to show you the 6 games that are part of the community expansion in the next Kickstarter, but there are more games. A lot of them are on the forum. You should definitely check them out. Jonathan in the chat has a game on the forum called Holdout. You should definitely check that out. I have been looking for an opportunity to play it in the office. It's a little bit... It's very physical, and our office is not wide.
It's a happy hour game. But probably with drinks set aside.
Yeah, it's good. It's great. It's like a playground game for blinks, which I think is so unique.
Maybe we'll bring it out at Come Out and Play, hoping that still happens.
I'm not sure people are coming out for much these days.
Well,
let's do what's next on the list that we made. Let's just do Pirates and Lasers now.
Okay, yeah.
I think.
So
well, John, you want to talk about what you're doing? Yeah.
Yeah. So if you did receive a developer kit, you got like one of these little 3D printed magnetic jigs that would go to. You can actually see what like the old developer blinks look like. Is the top would just come off like this, and to program it, the magnetic piece would just
step away while you do this real quick.
Yeah, the magnetic piece would just kind of pop on there into the right location. With the commercial set of blinks, I'll actually open one up right here. So with the commercial set of blinks, it doesn't open up in the same way. But this tool still works. So I just wanted to show how that works. Instead of needing that 3D printed magnetic part, there are 3 screws on the programmer jig, and those 3 screws can simply be unscrewed. Let's see. Seems pretty good. Okay. And so we're left with this part, which is the pogo pin adapter. That piece, of course, can still plug onto the USB programmer. And then the spot to program them, and I'll just open up one that is a developer blink. So if you pop out the battery, underneath on the inside of every blink is the 6 programming pins. It's on the bottom side, not the top. And to program it, let's see if I can do this without looking. So I hold it like this. I find the 6 pin spots and I just hold it down. And when I'm holding it down correctly, it'll light up if the program has intends to light up because it's powered now, and then it's ready to receive the program. So the same exact tool that shipped with the 150 developer kits works with both the old developer kit blinks and the now shipping commercial blinks. And you can access it from the bottom. Yesterday we were written, somebody has the new developer kit, peeled the top, the thermoplastic elastomer off of a blank to access the pins, and then realized that you could reach them from the bottom. So I just wanted to show that's how you access the programming port. That programming port works on every single blink that's shipped. This is not something that's standard with most products. Move 38's products, blinks in specific, are designed so that you can make your own games and do what you want with them. And we're really, really doing our best to support that. And yeah, I think these 6 games are a really, really good example of kind of how cool that is, that you can just make whatever you want with them. And we're ready for Pirates and Lasers.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with the small game, just because I want to get through it and like get to the end of a small set. Ian was just mentioning that their code has been updated a lot recently. This code is from last week, so it has the beginning of some new features, but not the full set of some new features. So Ian, I apologize that we're showing a slightly outdated version, but we will, we'll be posting updates and there'll be new versions all over the place. But this is a good stable version that I like, and it's something that I know Marty, who's in the chat, communications lead, was playing at a little bar meetup we had a couple weeks ago before you couldn't do stuff like that. We've just been experimenting with it and playing with some rules. I know that the Pirates and Lasers team has been experimenting with rules. So, Pirates and Lasers is a seafaring adventure. Each blink represents a piece of a ship. As you can see, this blink, give me the paper actually, just because it'll make it a little easier. So we should include a blank piece of paper with everyone who wants to film blinks. Each ship has 5 health points, indicated by this green, and a single, let's call it a healing cannon. And you'll see how that comes into play. I
always call it like a helmsman.
Yeah, something. We can take a blink, and long press it, and now you've got a laser. Now a laser has 3 red dots, which I'm not sure. Hit these.
That'll be pretty tough to.
That's all right.
You can also hold it
cut
up
the lights.
to.
The lights.
Does it hold? Does it show?
Doesn't really help. I mean, you can kind of see it, but cut the lights. It might help.
Okay.
Yeah, right now you're seeing mostly just an all red blink. That's pretty good. Oh, there was like that middle stage where I could see it. Just as your camera adjusted, it was like, ooh, look at that. Ian said repair indicator. That's good. It's a repair spot. So, in the game of Pirates and Lasers, I'm going to set up a real basic nothing ship. I'll make it a little harder with 2 lasers. Here is a potential ship in Pirates and Lasers. You've got 4 ship pieces and 2 lasers. On every turn, I am going to move a ship piece, and then click a ship piece to repair, and click both lasers. Those lasers will fire and damage all pieces that line up with their 3 lit sides. So in this case, it's that way, this way, luckily nothing, but this way, it's going to hit both of these. This is the same way. It's going to hit these, that, and that. So, we're trying to survive for as many turns as possible is the premise. So this version of it is single player, and in this setup, there's some hypothetical, like as Ian has pointed out, once you play a certain setup over and over again, you will understand what's a good score and what's a bad score, and you can experiment with it. So Ian's written laser rearrange repair. So let's start that way. I'm going to do both lasers, which have now shot lasers across the world and rotated the lasers, which I can't really show you in the camera. Now the lasers point in different directions. So I've got all this damage. And then, who can I help here? I'm going to take this guy out of the... Oh, I can't. I can't do that. Yes, I can.
Have to travel together.
Yeah, well, I've given myself a bad situation. I'm going to take this guy and put him here.
Okay, yeah.
And now I'm going to
Repair.
heal that. So that's gotten one of its health points back, but it's a trade. It's
You're giving your health to another piece.
Yeah. So I've survived one turn. Not difficult on the first turn, but this guy's in danger. So I'll let John take the second turn. So
All right.
lasers.
So lasers pointing here. I feel like
do lasers first.
Oh, I have to start.
Yeah.
That was a
that's part of the new
dangerous.
rules.
Okay.
All right, then the second laser.
Okay.
All right.
So laser. All right. So now I need to heal. All right.
So an important thing about how you rearrange these is that you can't leave like stringy pieces.
So give me a heads up real quickly.
Yeah.
Previously, I would put my helmsman in place,
Repair
and then lasers. So in this case, so
and again,
I shot the lasers. Well, let me just
yeah.
real quickly. So I shot the lasers.
Yep.
Now my next move, action, because I've got 3 actions in my turn. My
move.
next action is move. So let's see. This is a really safe place next turn.
Yep.
So I don't really want to move that. This is a dangerous spot, so I'm going to get out of there. However,
it will make 2 pieces illegal.
Yeah, and in fact, I think this rule makes it so that you are always getting hit by lasers.
Kind of, unless you're real. You can multi-turn, get really creative, and get things out of the way. Also, we're playing with 6, which is tough.
Can I only move 1 piece?
Yeah.
I can't break... Okay, so... Yeah, okay, so this is tricky. So, I feel like the only move I have here is either this piece or this piece.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess I could move here, too.
You could put this there.
Oh, that seems like a good move.
Mm-hmm.
So, however, it's not going to get the repair that it needs.
Well, you could use it to
I'll point it to
one.
there.
Because it is safe for... Oh, God, it's going to take...
But,
Oh, no.
But now I'm going to be down on health quite a bit. So really, yeah, this is not a good...
Well,
I'd rather dump health than...
Okay.
Okay.
So, laser.
Ouch.
So this guy needs health right now. I am in trouble here. I don't know that I can give it to him, though. Or he just needs to be out of the way of lasers. I actually think I may be stuck here. Because I can't take him without putting him there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. This is a tricky spot. I think we're sinking here.
Yeah, I think we're sinking next turn. What we can try to do... Oh, no, we're not. I'm going to take this piece and put it here. Oh, no, I can't do that. Right. So the yellow indicates when you've made a move you can't make, or when the ship is in a untenable position. So these are untenable.
And what makes those? You need 2 adjacent pieces attached to each piece.
I don't remember the exact phrasing of it, but this thready connections. No, the ship has to be solid. There can't be like little breakpoints in it. That would be like a little breakpoint.
No catamarans.
Yeah, the ship has to be solid. So with 6 blinks, we're really
really quite limited.
Yeah, I mean that's my bad for playing with 6. All these games, like 6 is just the hyper difficult version of Pirates and Lasers. It still plays obviously, and I chose to have 2 lasers, which I didn't have to do. I just wanted us to get through the game quickly, so why don't we just make the only move we can make, which is, say, that, and then I'm gonna just do this, and then laser,
and they'll sink down.
Yeah. So we have sunk this piece. You can see it has sunk into the ocean. You've got this sort of blue wobbly pattern. So we made it, what, 3 turns?
Yeah. That was a pretty miserable.
But to be fair, 6 blinks, 2 lasers is tough.
That's true.
All of these games target 12. The community expansion targets 12. I would actually say that this game could be played at 6, very difficult. Paintbrush could be played at 6, very quick. Group Therapy could be played at 6, very easy. But the intended experience is for these games to have 12 blinks. So I'm not too worried that we made it 3 turns, and I'm pretty sure Ian could probably tell me that he's done better. 2 lasers, 6 blinks. I bet Ian's done more than 3 turns. I promise you.
I imagine that's
yeah. It's just that we were kind of faffing about.
Do you want to play it with 12 blinks, or?
Yeah. So I've got 6 more over here I got 7 more over here with Pirates and Lasers. We got to do some resets. So Ian had said that there's some bug fixes. Oh, it's a triple click. Oh, no, not on those. All right, let's take these. I'm going to take this. So let's just do 12. So in this case, we now have a lot more board.
How many lasers should we have?
Ian,
I feel like this seems like a 3 laser, but
right.
At the same time, it's a laser. So what if we just do 2 lasers?
Let's just do this.
Because lasers reach through the entire ship. You don't need
a
lot of lasers.
We'll be able to make... All right, yeah, I'll turn this back into a ship piece.
I think that's actually kind of the fun thing about
there
lasers.
There is also, I will say, there is a new piece that Michael is in development on. I know he's made changes since I've gotten this code. This piece, which... Give me the paper. Sorry, you just put it away. This piece, which only has 2 faces lit, compared to the lasers 3, I don't know if this reads in any...
Yeah, the paper did...
Whatever. 2 versus 3. Don't worry about it. This is a reflector. I know Michael's changed how it looks since I put this code on here. And so what this does is if a laser hits it at that face, it then ejects it at that face. So you can make weirder things.
It's pirates, lasers, and mirrors.
Yeah, but I'm just going to do 3. I'm just going to do 3 regular lasers because I want to live. All right. So I've made a weird ship here.
3 lasers.
I made 3 lasers, but they're close together.
They are.
So start by pressing the 3 lasers.
I like seeing a laser get to travel through a lot of shit.
I mean, we can make the ship bigger in this.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we fire the lasers.
Yep.
Fire the lasers.
Yep. 2 and 3.
Okay.
Now move a piece. Who's in danger? Oh, that guy's in a lot of danger. Nobody's not going to get hit next turn.
But we might want to set him up for repair.
You can't put him by himself.
That's right. So like here would be a fine spot.
And
I'm gonna point it as well, so I'll repair.
Yep. Okay. And then now I'll take another turn. 1, 2, 3. Who needs help now? The guy who was hurt before, obviously. This guy's gonna be 1. Okay. I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually take. Yeah, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna repair that. So I've sort of evened out the damage. So
fire the lasers.
That was nice because it only, it really kept to itself on that one. Now, we've got a tough thing here. That is nearly dead and is in the path of 2 lasers.
Oh, so even if I repair it...
Yeah.
I just said repair it. Repair it.
That's not a...
That's a pirate pun.
That's barely a pun.
What do you do with a pirate that has lost its...
Workshop it first. We'll do it on the next stream. You have to move that piece, though.
You repair
It's gonna die.
Okay.
It can't possibly survive this. It's okay. It can be removed. It'll... Oh, no. Wait, no. This is perfect.
Right?
If you put it here, it'll make the ship solvent, and it won't get hit by anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's your only move, to not lose.
Oh, interesting. So we're not going to repair it at all. We're just going to
get
it
it
out
of harm's way and then repair something else.
Right. So maybe I'll put it in that direction. Okay, so this is this is like a croissant-shaped ship.
What you can do, though, is look for who is in danger. So
Probably.
That guy's in danger. This guy's not in so much danger. This is probably the one to do. Because it'll,
Right,
just
this
both
guy's
have
going to
3.
get hit.
Yeah.
Anybody going to get hit twice? Okay.
Did you do it?
So, yeah, I did.
I'll do it. All right. 1,
Lasers.
2.
Lasers.
Oof, that's a bad. All right, so now let's see the aftermath. So 1 health, 1 health, and this is in supreme danger. But I can. Oh no. Yeah. Oh boy. All right. I think if I just repeat this move and face you here, I can then repair like this.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll survive this turn.
That's a pretty...
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
All right, so you can see the ship is...
You know, I've never thought to play this game this way, but turn-based is kind of interesting. There's part of me that's like, I could sabotage this ship.
Yeah, that's how Marty and Spencer were playing it the other night as an experiment. They were playing, like, the person who does sink it is the loser.
Yeah.
So it's just about staying alive through the next turn.
So this is... I've got to figure out how to repair this. I think I can... Yeah, I think I can repair this and live to see another day. Except this one I can't.
Yeah.
This has 2 lasers pointed at it.
Right. It has to go.
It has to be... that's tough. And so either this is going to sink or this is going to sink.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think to have some fun in the process, let's go ahead and do that. And then let's go ahead and...
You can heal from here and at least make it so you survive the first laser hit.
Oh, that actually...
But this is going to die.
Right. I feel
so
like...
now, on the beginning of my turn, I've knocked that out. I've knocked that out. I've knocked that out. So John really dramatically lost, if that's what it's going to be.
That's pretty great. So you can see the sunken ships.
Yep.
You can see the... this is...
Ian pointed out that 3 lasers is actually quite ambitious, which I think... I don't know, I was like, whatever, 3 out of 12? But yes, lasers are very powerful. Probably didn't need 3.
It's the thing about lasers, is like, lasers go as far as they want to go. I think that's pretty powerful, actually. I'm going to wash my hands real quickly. Do you want to do... do one more pirates and talk a little bit more about it, and then we can load up Raid.
Raid, yeah. Which I think in the forum is labeled as Overtake.
My fault.
That's all right. I'm going to just move slightly. Ian is saying they've added fracturing to the rules, so this kind of behavior, which would have changed how we played it. But yeah, that's the thing about all these games. Like I said, they're all in flux. They're all in development. We're showing you the current, in this case, last week's state of this game. And so I think, everything's in a good place. If we had to publish them all, we could. But it's really exciting that these will keep getting worked on. And like I said, if you're interested in seeing the development, seeing how it's going, go in the forum. Everyone's on there talking about these games. So let's see how I can do with a more potentially reasonable ship. And I'm going to play with fewer blinks. Play with 8. I'm going to do... let's really make it difficult. So I've got this ship. So start firing my lasers, and I'm immediately in a ton of trouble. But not so much. Let's take this and go here. Now I survived 1 turn, and let's keep this moving. Okay. What am I doing on life points? Not bad. I'll grab this, do that. 1, 2. Who's hurting the most? Okay. This. Oh no, no. That's gonna die. Alright. This
got a laser pointed
here. And then 2. Oh, I wasn't looking. So I have sunk 2 pieces in a single turn. But I was playing with 8 blinks, 2 lasers. It was 25% lasers. Actually, that's just as bad as what I did before, which was
12 blinks,
25%
blinks,
lasers.
2 lasers.
I don't know why I thought this would be easier. All right. So the last thing, unless there's something else you want to talk about in between.
No, I think let's load up. This is such a cool. So we mentioned that each of these games came from, and I guess we can switch to faces for a moment while this is loading. And I think this game will read with lights up.
Yeah, we'll see. How many are we gonna play it with?
So this
13 since I got them.
So 2 years ago when we kickstarted Blinks, we shipped the developer kits, and a lot of them went out into the world, and we saw some interesting experiments and some interesting game concepts. And then a shocking amount of people also just don't, haven't been on the forum yet. So we've got 1 in 3 of the people with developer kits have joined the forum. So if you're watching this and you have a developer kit, please join the forum. We get so excited to see what you're making. This game is an example of just how cool it is when you do show up on the forum. So Mark Mayer, I believe it was his very first post.
You have lost the chat.
Was just, here, check out this game I made. And we loaded it up, and it was like, whoa, this game's really cool. It feels like smart tabletop gaming. Like, the board is clearly thinking. It moderates your moves. It has a really unique player,
mechanic,
player distribution mechanic. It's a really cool game, and we are so excited about it that we decided, this is going to be part of our community set.
Yeah.
And so it's just the game's called Raid. It's
heavily in development. Even as of this week, this version that we're going to play right now is technically out of date by a couple of days.
Really?
Yeah, he has a branch now that has some different functionality, but this is the still current as of that branch. We're going to play this branch version of it.
Oh, I like this island setup. It's like a K.
Yeah, so this is Raid. It is a game of Viking longboats and land war on small islands. To start the game, they all boot like this. They're in kind of setup mode, and this is the island. And he recently updated this, so forgive me because I'm going to forget off the top of my head which button click does it. But I believe it's double click, starts the game, and now blue player. You want to be blue?
Sure.
So John's blue. He takes a blue piece. I'm going to be yellow, and I'm going to take this
And I
one.
love this. When you take
Now,
a piece...
If there was another player, they'd be purple and then green, but I'm just going to tap here or double tap to cancel it and say it's only 2 players.
Yeah. So double-click starts the game, and now we're off to the races.
Yeah.
So you want to describe the goal of the game?
So the goal of the game is to spread your color, so I'm yellow, he's blue, is to spread your color across this island. The only way to get your color onto the island is to take your longboat and attach it to the shore. The thing is, it happens simultaneously. So I'll go second, John will go first. So I'm going to close my eyes. And now, John, attach your longboat to the shore.
So this is cool, because everybody in the stream gets to see what decision I make here.
I don't.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's see.
And then you remove the ship.
And so I place, and then I remove my ship. And so Dan has no idea where I've moved.
Yeah. Now I open my eyes, and I say, I don't know.
And I can watch at this point, because I've already moved.
All right, so we both moved. Double tap. Oh, wow, we chose very similar places. So the ship, the people land, and then your forces start on the shore and then spread one space. So I started here, and now I own these two. He started here, and now he owns these two. Now on subsequent turns, we're going to see this spread continue to happen. But the two of us are competing for that spot right there. I'm neighboring it, and he's neighboring it. Neither of us are going to get it because we have equal power. But if John had another blue over here, then it would also spread, and it would have a power of 2 versus 1. So it's about, in the 2-player, just competing for this, trying to get, just trying to set us up. It'll make sense in a couple of turns.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating territory control.
And also, turn order doesn't matter because it's simultaneously. So, for instance, you close your eyes. I'm going to take the first turn.
Go for it.
Not that, because there is no turn order.
What Dan doesn't realize is that my echolocation is phenomenal.
It's your turn. I always think about that, where, like, you can kind of hear it, but not enough to make, like, predictive decisions. You're like, oh, I know it was in this region, because it sounded kind of over there.
I feel like maybe it was a weird... Okay. Yeah. All right. So.
All right. I'll close my eyes for this one. You go first.
It's real tricky.
Also, if we happen to choose the same landing spot, nobody gets it. And in a 4-player game, that becomes more and more and more likely. It's really fun. Also, for everyone noticing that I'm touching my eyes, I did just wash my hands.
Well done.
Okay?
Okay. Moved.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a full sense... I actually know I don't have a full sense of strategy here.
I don't think I do either. Oh.
Wow, we're both battling, although this is kind of cool, because we're seeing that we're actually both going after similar...
You're going to get that spot. Because you have 2 and I have 1.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. I'm not doing well here. All right, close your eyes. Okay. I don't have to close my eyes. Go ahead.
All right. Here we go. Huh. I feel like I would like to secure
an area.
Yeah, like something over. Let's see. This is going to be tough to. Well, you've only got 1 there. I might actually. Okay. That might be worthwhile going after. Let's try this.
Okay. So I landed over there.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right, I'll close my eyes.
Wow. This looking really close. Let's see.
I was gonna say, make a decision.
It's
You got it?
Yeah, I'm the worst person to play a game with for the first time. I like to think through
Valhalla waits for no one.
way too much.
Alright.
Okay.
So John's over here, I'm over there.
I think we're both using a similar strategy of trying to
So we've also reached an
Stop.
interesting point. There aren't a lot of landing sites left. Unclaimed shoreline where we can actually do this. There's over here, and then there's over here, and then there's these three. So there are only 5 landing sites left. The chances of us overlapping is really high now. This will likely be the last turn, if not the second to last turn. So you close your eyes. I'm going to go first. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, Ian's signing out. Thanks for stopping by, Ian. Thanks for helping
Later,
us
Ian.
do some alternate rules for pirates and lasers, and we'll be doing more updates about that soon.
All right. Let's see. Oh, and a question about the shipping.
Yeah.
I can share a little bit more about that.
Once you take
So
your
I
turn.
think, are we going to fight over that together?
We are not. I was right there. But we have essentially ended the game. There are only 2 landing sites left. Over there and over here. We can play a single turn.
I think we should do it.
All right. You go first.
Okay.
Now I have to really use echolocation.
Okay.
It's in my best interest to choose the opposite one of you.
Right.
Because at least I'll get one spot. I guess that's sort of a stalemate, so it doesn't matter. Take it?
Yep.
Okay. Let me just look at these sites. No one will get that. No one will get that. So, yeah. Okay.
Cool.
John took that. I took that. And now the world is full. There are no more landing sites. And it's now...
So this moment I love. So
Yeah.
if I were to make this game, I'd be like, okay, now people have to count all the pieces up. But what Mark did here, and I just really love this, is that instead of asking you, the player, to do the bookkeeping on this, the blinks themselves compute
Yeah.
who is the winner. And so, just 1, 2, 3.
It is 3. Okay, sorry. He's changed the button presses, and I always forget what they are.
And so,
I've
and so blue reigns victorious. And so, like,
owns this island.
yeah. And so, like, one of the things here that one piece of feedback I really liked was like, oh, maybe the territory that won, you should see that.
Yeah,
that
because we've
territory.
lost the sense of it. Like, it's just all blue now. But that's something that I'm probably, if I went home and reinstalled this from the top of his repo, it would have that fixed.
Oh, cool.
I think so a single clicks are gone. I think it's all.
So double click and triple click, and a long press will reset
resets
ready
all
to
that.
play.
So
Yeah. What do you think?
about what?
I don't like.
I mean, this is one of my favorites in the set. I like it not just from a gameplay perspective, but I also like the representational aspect of it. Like John said, oh, what an interesting looking island. You know, producing these islands that you're going to play on is part of the game itself. And when you pull your piece, when you decide, oh, I'm going to be blue, you are making a decision that shapes the world. Taking this piece versus that piece versus this piece versus this piece changes the island. Now, that's really creates nothing that interesting, but taking that, and now if I'm purple, taking this creates a real weird world. And then if I'm green and I want to reduce the complexity, I might just grab this one. Now we've got 4 players playing on this weird island.
And so this is something else that we haven't shown that I think is super cool. So because blinks are intelligent game pieces, you know, they can correct you if you're making an illegal move or going out of turn. So if I just, as yellow, went here,
And then I, as green, go over here.
and then I try and sneak in another move,
You can't do it.
it shows me, And it doesn't matter where
You're not attaching the face. Yeah.
I attach.
And I'll do purple's move and blue's move, and now nobody can take another move. Like, everybody knows purple and blue and green and yellow, they've all gone. But the other fun thing it does is if we progress this turn, and then I go to take my turn as green, and I attach here to this occupied space, no, can't do that. You cannot attach to land already owned by your opponent.
Right. It'd be
All
like...
that stuff is enforced.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there are a lot of really nice details here with this game in that it has, in a lot of games, like Dark Ball's a good example of the exact opposite of this, where it's like, nothing's enforced. You can just throw them together and, like, start playing. This game has a very, I don't know, like, this is the way you proceed.
Yeah.
But I feel like it feels like the board itself, the blinks are helping you along the way.
Yeah, now Mark is also experimenting with versions of it that are less rules enforcey. He's also experimenting with a version, so right now, this is the island, and these are the ships, and everyone keeps a ship. He's experimenting with a version where there is a single ship piece that you tap through to change color. And so I would go, okay, John, your turn. I would pass it, and you'd go tap, tap, tap. Okay, red, and you'd play as the red team.
I'm biased. I like
like this.
I like holding on to my team color.
Yeah, the only thing about the tap is that it only removes one blink from the island, whereas this removes 4 blinks from the island. Like, the island is inherently smaller because of this necessity. He's also working on things that enforce slightly fewer rules. We're experimenting with what single, double, triple, long press. We're experimenting with what all of the inputs do to make it more obvious, I guess, or easier to understand and remember. But it's all just stuff he's experimenting with, which is great. Like, we'll find the right way,
Yeah, and it's not totally blind. I think with the first 12 games, we established a standard for how to use single click, double click, and triple click. The double click is typically a start game action.
Single click is usually whatever the most basic action of the game is. Long press is frequently change mode.
Right.
Pirates and lasers use it that way. Single click is do what the piece does. Long press is change a thing from a ship to a laser. It's a really significant, meaningful, potentially game state ruining action. I think that's one of the important things, is you're going to have an action that could wipe all progress or fundamentally change the game.
Shouldn't be easy to
shouldn't be single click. It shouldn't be,
Cool. Well, I think we're actually doing quite good on time. So I think the last thing I wanted to mention is I noticed some of you are waiting for your blanks, waiting for your developer kits. I mentioned a little bit earlier in the stream, but it's healthy to mention again. We're awaiting inventory of the blinks expansion sets. So the first core 6 games, we have a very limited supply of those left. In fact, if you're ordering today or order online now, we can fulfill those same day, or they'll go out the same day. We'll run out of those pretty quickly. And then what we're waiting on is our next batch, which we have another 1,000 units of blinks arriving with core sets, expansion, and blanks. And then we'll sell out of those, and the next availability for the blinks will be the Kickstarter. And so if you haven't yet, feel free to reach out, sign up, make sure you get on the list for being notified of when our Kickstarter goes live. The 6 games we played today, these are the 6 games that we'll be releasing, and there's some more things in store as well. But yeah, thanks so much for everybody who's been so patient about receiving the blinks that from the very first Kickstarter. We really can't wait to ship out and fulfill the rest of them. I think there's another 350 people who have been waiting very patiently, and so you should be seeing them in April, and we're looking forward to doing more streams like this, and you can join in with your blinks.
Yeah, I think that covers it.
Cool. Well, thanks so much. Let us know in the comments. Of course, if you're not watching live, let us know in the comments as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be looking to do more of these and figure out the best way to really help you learn how to play your blinks, figure out what they can do, and see how expandable they are.
Yeah.
So until next time.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you guys later.
See you later.
I don't know how to stop this.
All right.